Warning, the voices heard in this video are made synthetically, using artificial intelligence. Nothing in this video reflects anything actually stated by the real-life individuals involved. This video is for entertainment purposes only, and serious political content will be avoided for that purpose. Enjoy!
Bring me my baby back Biden ribs on the bridge while I'm blasting bars and babies welcome back viewers.
Super Space Bars. Joe, it's been a while, but last episode we finally visited mining and blasted off a beacon. Now we need to fix communications on the bridge so that the beacon can be useful in getting our asses back to Earth.
We also finally ran into our space waifu, who is actually not our space waifu because Isaac is in a silly, demented mood. But while our girlfriend isn't real, this space zombie ambush absolutely is time to lock in Sleepy.
Oh boy, we have a horde of exploding guys, a perfect opportunity to use my line gun traps. I rarely get a chance to make perfect use of them. Might as well pair it with the force gun, get that Biden and Barry combo on the bridge.
Damn, you are glazing Barry like he has red hair and elf ears. Sleepy, but I know the real reason you want to use the force gun is because it has over 50 goddamn rounds, while your other guns have 20 shots max to them. So stop brown-nosing and get back to cleaning the Bridge of Bombs Marine.
Just trying to start with some positivity, Double D, since I have to play the game where every dead thing jumps me and tries to kill me in the dark and cold vacuum of space.
Well, I appreciate that the force gun is finally getting some love, since the reason it's been gathering dust is it's been in our inventory since Chapter 6. But we have barely used it because of your line gun obsession. I mean, you still use the line gun at the start, but I'll allow it. Oh, also good movement, Joe. During an ambush in this bigger room, it's hard to tell where enemies will spawn from, so it's best to just use the entire room for distance, especially with this many exploders.
The fact there have been like 3 red-eyed zombies in the mix and none of them really did anything is all the proof I need that we have reached our peak and we need a difficulty spike. The Obama build efficiency buff is just too goddamn powerful. Marker, please nerf.
Well, 2 of our guns are fully upgraded as well as our suit being nearly upgraded too. I imagine we are going to be big chilling for a while, until near the end game. Also looks like I've fully cleared the entire bridge of enemies and bombs. Is this more to your liking, Donald? Now I have to clean up all this loot these guys littered around the room.
Yeah, sure, good work bullying the necromorphs that are supposed to be bullying you, Sleepy. I swear to God, I hope these things start to learn how to use tools. That way we can have some real fun and test your limits. Also, of course, the episode couldn't start without Daniels yapping on the comms like a damn teenage girl.
This update is a little more important, as it's a subtle hint at the story shift that is about to take place. Apparently someone is hacking into communications to try and listen in, which means someone alive is still on the ship interested in Isaac.
Well, it's probably Mercer. That's one of the few guys still around that is alive and would care about tracking Isaac. Dude probably wants to know our favorite scent of candles so he can have a more intimate candle set up next time we meet.
I could see it, that guy is freaky enough to have an intimate setting for our death while he monologues to us. But it's possible it's someone else who is crazy too. Speaking of Mercer, though, we can find the bridge audio for the medical malpractice side quest following Brent Harris's story. And we can actually finish that quest up right now before proceeding in Chapter 8 to make ourselves even more powerful with a stasis upgrade.
See, this kind of optimal collusion is exactly why the space zombies are getting bullied. If we just had Joe go in blind like he was in the first episode or 2, the content train would be way more about him getting bent over in the bathroom as opposed to the other way around. That's what the people really want. Also, holy throwback, I almost forgot about the captain. We haven't heard anything about him since Kine domed him in the head.
Yeah, that was episode 3 around Chapter 4, so that was about 5 months ago. And probably like 3 hours of gameplay ago, but bro is dead, so his story is already over. I guess they just want to show us how warped by unitology this guy really was, and how he bullied our girlfriend too.
You know, saying that Nicole was being bigoted and oppressing unitologists is pretty laughable when unitologists became the majority on the ship. And it's the leading religion on Earth. If anything, the unitologists are oppressing everyone else by forcing the marker to live with them on this ship.
Dominant majority religion that still says they are oppressed definitely sounds like something relevant to real life for some reason.
I don't know why that would be Donald, but that sounds dangerously close to political content. Also, I can tell the captain isn't married because telling your girl you know your way out is a quick way for shit to turn domestic real fast. Anyways, where am I going now, Barry?
We are going to cut ahead and head back to hydroponics, specifically the second floor of the atrium in the room, where Nicole took over the screens and gave us a message. And on your way there, viewers, you can find a level 3 security room for some easy loot too.
The marker must be getting desperate again. Instead of sending the dreaded one guy, they are sending these little tentacle flood things that each take 1 plasma shot to die.
The marker is asleep at the wheel again. I will take the break. I can get bro as a terrible brain house guest. Also a massive W for not only letting you track side quests now, but also giving them a different color so no one gets confused.
It's a small improvement on an otherwise completely perfect HUD system. There's no random bars on the side of the screen. Everything is on your back, which means it's always in the center. And it's integrated perfectly so there's no clutter. I can't tell if I like the HUD of Dead Space or Metro more. Being honest, both are so damn immersive.
All right, don't blow your load. It's a good HUD and peak gameplay. That's all that needs to be said. You guys are huffing the game designer's farts harder than whoever was living in this room huffing more weed gas.
I guess it was this one inflation zombie that was smoking this much. Although, does it even make sense for all this gas to be here? Didn't we remove the Leviathan spreading the gas? It should all be gone now.
Well, as we are going to see in this audio log up ahead, Mercer developed his own Weezer poison for his experiments, and to keep people away from looking into his projects, including his experiment on Harris. Before we get into the final lore, here's our reward for completing the side quest Medical Malpractice, and the reason Harris went into mining for osmium, the prototype stasis module. This module essentially buffs stasis ability to halt enemies in their tracks, or making them completely immobile rather than slowing them down, and as an added bonus, stasis now actually damages enemies as well.
So now we have the ability to fully pause people and monologue at them like that asshole did in Chapter 5. Well, that zombie up ahead was the perfect test subject to try our new toy, but Joe just decided to kill him the old-fashioned way instead. Massive fumble, honestly.
It's not like we have a whole episode to try the stasis out, Donald. I am sure I completely missed my chance to use my improved stop time stand. Also, I would feel bad for this Harris guy becoming Frankenstein's monster if he hadn't murdered like 5 people prior to this point.
Well, I guess we know what happened to Harris after the election. I guess becoming an immortal Frankenstein isn't the worst fate of a losing president.
Okay, low blow Donald. Also, Harris doesn't deserve our pity, but Mercer is the one who does deserve our hate.
Brad, the marker?
Jesus, I just cleaned the Oval Office carpet.
Oh well, one massive upgrade and a lore drop later, and Joe is back and progressing through the main quest again.
Looks like they added some wall gooners to the basement since the last time I was here. Perfect time to test out my new and improved stop time.
I've said this before, but now we can see it in action. Stasis is the best way to kill Guardians in this game, as it stops further tentacles from spawning, and can sometimes instant kill them because of a glitch. That's why there is actually a stasis recharge station in the center room here, which usually Guardians always come with some form of stasis nearby, so it's a good gameplay cue to look out for on impossible difficulty.
Oh, right. Isn't there some locked containers that we can loot now with our upgraded clearance? I know we are already strong as shit, but I don't want to leave money lying around either.
Oh, good looking out, Donald. I will grab that as soon as this second guy bites the curb. Might as well refill my stasis anyway, while I am there. Also, where the hell did these guys even come from? When we were down here last episode, this place was fully clear from the blight walls.
Actually, there's an interesting bit of environmental storytelling with this area. The Guardians are made with human corpses that have fully merged with the blight walls. The tentacles we see are actually their intestines that now have blades and can shoot out more tentacles. In the storage room we looted there were 2 random dead bodies broken through the window where we could shoot the lock and open the door. Now we can see that those 2 bodies are gone and consumed by the infection. It's likely those 2 dead bodies became the Guardians we are fighting now.
Okay, that is an interesting attention to detail. I know we came here at the end of episode 3, so maybe our viewers can go back and fact check you there. But how the hell did you notice that Obama? Have you been rewatching our series or something?
When you have done enough impossible runs of the trilogy, you just start to notice the little things like where bodies are and where they place explosive or stasis canisters. This game is actually very forgiving if you use everything it gives you to its advantage.
All right, you goddamn nerd, that wasn't as cool as you thought it sounded, but it does give our viewers the opportunity to go back to previous videos or rewind the movie. So I appreciate the subtle grind set, Nerdbama.
Well, it was subtle until you mentioned it, Donald. Now everyone just knows we brought that up for non-altruistic reasons. Speaking of non-altruistic reasons, don't forget to loot this side room here. There is some good loot and a good stack on money. Well, after nearly 10 minutes of backtracking and looting later, we finally reached our first main objective of the episode, the comm room, and can get back to some good old engineering.
Yeah, and it's a broken piece of shit infested with jumping zombies. This is probably how the satellites of Boost and Vision Mobile operate with its cheap-ass service. Don't worry, though, the Trump mobile satellite towers will stay zombie and liberal-free for all your freedom-calling needs.
Yeah, that shit definitely looks like a McDonald's toy and probably runs on McDonald's Wi-Fi too. No one is buying that. I would honestly take an Obama phone over the Trump phone.
Okay, Joe, respectfully shut up. You weren't even able to get a second term and get a phone named after you. That being said, Donald, when people named a phone after me, it's typically used as an insult. So I wouldn't really jump at the opportunity to have one in your name. Trust me, it ages like milk. But anyways, before you go and fix the dish, we have one last lore recording to look at regarding the captain.
Seriously, this dude was dead and forgotten after Kine blasted his brains and he tried to eat us in the morgue, and suddenly now he gets 2 back-to-back diary entries? Also, did he just do a Wakanda Forever salute with his arms? What the hell was that?
Pretty sure that's how unitologists greet each other, although that's new lore present in this game. I think it is supposed to be a marker symbol made with his hands since they are twisted together.
This is the last message the captain sent, and he is here because, as we have said before, he not only blocked all long-range communication from the crew so that they wouldn't be able to contact the SEC and let them know what the unitologists are doing, but he even overloaded the communications array himself later on so no one could reach out to the colony or contact family. Also, the director Eckhart that he mentions is from Dead Space Extraction, where he serves as the main antagonist. He is the CEC executive director on the colony and another high-ranking member of the church, along with the captain. He was also responsible for filling the CEC with as many unitologists as possible for the marker's arrival.
Well, we aren't playing Extraction, so we don't need to worry about seeing him again. With that out of the way, it's time to fix the array and solve some more puzzles, boys. I'm pumped. Well, after I kill the 3 to 4 electric OCD zombies who don't want me to fix their electric issues that violate local ordinance.
Oh, goddammit. I thought we were done with the puzzle montage after the last Dragon Age 2 DLC, and here I am without a brand to strike me blind. Thank God, at least I don't have to brave this sober. This time I can crack open a cold one.
The irony that you have a fridge full of Coronas, given your personal policies on the country of the drink's origin, is weighing on me, even as I go into zero gravity.
Hey Joe, I think you got that last baby, no need to mag dump. Anyways, Donald, I'd ask if you could have a staffer put on some coffee. But I know given the fact you have Coke and a new gamer supplement button on your desk, that you get a less balanced form of caffeine in your diet. It doesn't matter though, because this puzzle isn't too difficult. It is probably one of the easiest ones. You just have to line up the energy flow to complete the pattern. It's not a huge exploration like the engine room or the mining debris. Everything you need is right in front of you. And there's not nearly as much guessing as the Dragon Age puzzles. Really, I think the only way you can mess this puzzle up is if you try to use the 2 blue satellites that are useless in terms of their patterns, or if you get confused where to start the array for some reason.
Yeah, the hardest part is just finding the blue satellites that I need to complete the energy flow. I remember this shit was way easier in the original Dead Space. In that game, instead of connecting a power line for the satellites, you instead had to just remove all of the broken satellites and line up the healthy ones in a row across the antenna. There was no puzzle really, just put the blue satellites in the right slot and move on. Granted, that's because in the original game, instead of floating, you had to use mag boots. So this type of puzzle where you needed specific satellites in specific slots would have been annoying as hell to do, especially since the camera angle changes after every jump.
Well, I have always said you need to do more shape puzzles for brain training to keep yourself more coherent with your shots and going up and down stairs. Also, why the hell are there so many stacks in this communications hub? There's like 3 stacks of $1,800 just floating around. Was someone like-minded literally wiping their ass in the communications hub?
I mean, have you seen the electrician prices these days? My dude probably dropped some of his pocket money before going to fix the vending machine. Anyways, Joe, you're almost done with the puzzle, so after you fix the array, instead of progressing to the tram, there's 2 more errands I want you to take care of.
God damn it, Obama. We just spent the first 5 minutes doing errands, and now you want us to do errands for an extra 5 minutes?
I know, but trust me, these 2 errands will be very quick, like under a minute. I forgot to do the second code in the break room to get the secret text log. So I want to take care of that before we progress. Then after that, we need to loot the observation room we came from, where Daniels called us to get the second to last officer's rig and an audio log.
Okay, Joe, don't act like you weren't struggling to figure out the last panel for an extra minute, and that's why we cut ahead. You short-circuited faster than the goddamn communications array did.
Donald, stop tipping our hat to the viewers. This is getting way too meta, and we really do need to keep a few tricks under our hat, including a Joe being able to solve puzzles in game that he could never solve on camera. Anyways, who is ready to forget about the puzzle solving and get mad at the plot point instead.
This is USM Valor.
God damn, the Mark 6 armor looks sick as hell in this game. Now this is a true space marine.
The voice acting for this scene is way better than the original too. Bro sounded like he was making an announcement at the DMV instead of a soldier sending a distress beacon to a scared crew.
Well, higher budget means better voice acting, and that goes for most characters in this game besides maybe Hammond. I think Hammond's original voice actor nailed it slightly better. Speaking of Hammond, though, remember that other escape pod that Chen was in that he decided to humanly release?
Who the fuck is Chen?
Oh, God damn it. How the hell does every single thing this middle manager does make our job harder? Even when he's not around, he is making shit worse for us. Now the Space Marines have to deal with the infamous just one guy necromorph.
Joe, I know you did a puzzle, but there are only 5 members of the Kellyan crew. Please try to keep up. Anyways, before we open the gates, Joe, go ahead and proceed to the break room. And on the floor of this room is a circle of blood with hand and shoe patterns. To make it easier for you, Joe, the code is melee, stomp, 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 melee, stomp. Melee, stomp, 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 melee, stomp.
Yeah, editor, go ahead and just put it on the screen because no one is gonna remember this shit like the Konami code. What is the reward for this secret code, though?
Oh, I know this one, Barry. So the reward for this code is a unitology prayer that directly ties in the brethren moons to their religion. And the aspect of making them whole is a fleet descending upon them. Basically a good tie between this game and the third Altman be praised.
Wait, hold the fuck on, Joe. What was that last thing you said?
Morți se nossas prestele. Bine cuvântat sunt vegetatori care și păzesc somnul. Fica flotas fantasă de inui dincolo de atingerea dușmanilor noștri. Oh, I mean, nothing, Barry. Thanks for the code.
Okay, yeah, sure thing, Joe. I am beginning to tune out this marker stuff anyway, just so you know. For now, just go loot the side room to get the second to last rig and the audio log confirming that the captain sabotaged the comms array. It's another easy 2,000 for our troubles.
Bro really thought the illegal mining was the worst thing happening here and not the crazy space cultists or space zombies running loose.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Jesus, there really is money hidden everywhere in this chapter. I think we picked up an easy 20,000 in the last 15 minutes alone.
Yeah, we are well in the late game now, and the game is showing that through its loot increase. However, you're going to want to go ahead and save as much money as possible, though these next two chapters are short. But at the start of Chapter 10, we get access to the last suit upgrade for a steep 60,000 credits.
Jesus Christ, the optimization never ends until Isaac becomes a true space marine, ready to serve the Emperor only to lose every single upgrade we gained in Dead Space 2, because Isaac self-commits to the insane asylum and surrenders his god tools to the state.
Game balance comes first sometimes. Donald, don't you want to prove to the viewers your superior skill? Also, I guess that does confirm we are doing Dead Space 2 after this.
Oh, absolutely. We are going to soft launch Dead Space 2 sometime after we start our Inquisition series as a side series where Donald will take the wheel. And give Joe a well-deserved break. That's for the future presidents to worry about, though. For now, we still have to finish this game and a few other projects.
Anyways, back from upgrading, we can move on. Oh, hey, friend, your health is low. Do you have any potions or... Oh, shit, it's Slenderman. Haka, haka, haka.
Oh, damn, Joe, that dude could have died from a heart attack. Instead, you made his final moments become getting hit with a massive kinetic blast that shattered his ribs, tore all of his skin off, too. That random space guy deserved better.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have become Slenderman's mindless puppet and lure me in there to let my guard down only to get jumped. Now it's doing the same thing, pretending to die only to split into tiny tentacle guys.
All right, one Slenderman comparison was one thing. But two is too many. Joe, this thing is the Divider, which is the complete form of the tentacle heads we have seen since Chapter 4. The head is actually the necromorph in question, but it is able to command smaller tentacles to become a full necromorph. Also, we finally have the most overpowered upgrade in the game, the weighted blades for the plasma cutter. This gives us the ability to fully knock back any necromorph with the backhand of the plasma cutter, giving you a powerful and free melee buff.
Oh shit, the Biden pimp slap has finally transcended. Or, well, next time I have nodes to upgrade it. For now, I just spent all of my nodes on my force gun.
We have been making the joke about Joe's melee obsession since episode 1. And now that he has finally gotten over it, we are going to suck him right back in with a goddamn star platinum backhand move. Thank God we probably get a break from this until Chapter 10, since Chapter 9 doesn't even have a workbench, I am pretty sure.
That's probably a good call, otherwise scenes like getting jumped in the elevator by a bloodied necromorph just wouldn't be as interesting. Anyway, it's been a little while since we have had a boss in this game, so let's see your moves, Joe.
Goddamn, the power of tentacles is so overwhelming. Even spacing this thing after poisoning it and killing it didn't end it. I haven't seen such mindless endurance since Joshua Graham. And despite its obvious Bible name, I doubt this thing is going to start quoting Bible verses or carry a cool-ass gun.
Well, unlike Joshua, I doubt this Leviathan thing is going to bandage himself up and wrap up his fucked up face. So it's time to pull a Javik and throw it out the airlock for the safety of all. Let's loot around and suit up for another spacewalk, boys.
Goddamn, Joe, that's a pretty massive stray for a beloved Fallout character. I would be careful there. Also, just like the communications array this boss fight here was entirely different in the original 2008 version. As in the original, the Leviathan does die at the end of Chapter 6. And instead, Isaac has to fight a unique necromorph boss called the Slug, which seems to be a massive formation of the blight we see around the walls of the ship that grow tentacles. Its main purpose seemed to just be to block communications, as the being isn't violent until Isaac shoots at it. It was too big to destroy conventionally, just like in the original fight, so Isaac had to mount a turret to destroy all 5 tentacle weak points, which we do see still referenced in this current fight, although now we control Isaac while using the turret, so it's more interactive.
Oh, goddammit, Barry, you said the forbidden word that is a trigger to end all triggers.
Nah, Obama, we are not letting the turret sections get away that unscathed. With that light of a critique, all turret sections are imbecilic, dull-witted, and to quote the ball of anxiety, the people who make them are downright callow. I have already stated my thesis on how all turret sections are terrible unless there is a high-stake power fantasy, like Star Wars Fallen Order, or a massive cooperative boss fight with plenty of movement like Lost Planet 2's train fight. Dead Space fails on both regards by completely dulling the gameplay of an otherwise great shooter. Instead of weapon and enemy variety, we spend a good 5 minutes shooting the same tentacles with the same gun that also has unlimited ammo and very little stakes. And just like the first turret sequence, we stay in the same place while doing all of this. It's not only boring, but it's an insult to gamers. Thank you for listening to my thesis, boys.
We literally didn't have a choice but to listen to it, Donald. And I don't ever want to be accused of using a teleprompter again after you just uttered that Harvard-ass level speech in front of me and all the viewers. However, reading through the lines of what you were talking about, I have to say I mostly agree with you. Being able to move around, dodge tentacles, blight bombs, and other environmental dangers in real time is way more engaging. And even the oxygen management gives us a tight time frame to fight this guy before having to come up for air, for lack of a better word.
Well, I wouldn't say there is a lot of dodging going on in your case, Joe. You were supposed to stop shooting the turret to dodge the tentacles and actually destroy some of the blight pods that are launched at us. This is one of the only fights the pulse rifle is actually really good for, since its high ammo capacity can easily destroy the traps and the bombs this thing summons. It's why the environment gives us free pulse rifle ammo regardless of what weapon we have equipped, something that almost never happens.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that, Obama? I had something in my ear.
Oh, bite me, Donald, yes, the pulse rifle is actually a really good pick for this specific boss fight and the previous Leviathan boss fight too. And your gun does have its uses, even if fighting normal space zombies is an overall chore to do with it. Anyways, good work finishing the boss fight, Joe. This fight can be a massive issue on impossible difficulty if you aren't careful. But as it is, the brute force method still holds true.
2 bosses down, only 1 more on the planet to go. Now we can send out our tweets to the Valor, or whatever the hell we were supposed to do that we needed to clear the communications array for.
We had to yell at the Space Marines to not open Hammond's escape pod. Joe, we just talked about this 5 minutes ago. The dementia cannot be hitting this hard marker or no marker. Also, how the hell did one knife-armed zombie kill every single Marine? Who the hell trained these guys? Even Hammond did way better at killing these things.
Well, they were using pulse rifles after all, Donald.
Oh, so that you remember, but not the primary objective of this chapter. Sure thing, sleepy fuck off. I hope this ship crashed and crushes your engineering forgetful ass.
All right, both of you need to fucking get it over with. We have shit to take care of here. I am not going to lie to you boys. I should be mad at Hammond for this. But this is just terrible writing for a lot of reasons.
Something shook the whole crew deck. What hit it? An asteroid?
Well, the crash was big enough to wake up Hammond from his nap, and we have plenty of episode left to cover, so do you want to let it out, Barry?
Oh, gladly, Joe. But this is going to be a massive breakdown, so half of the reasons I will go over now, while we make our way onto the Valor in an admittedly nice-looking spacewalk.
Oh boy, yaps incoming.
The USM Valor's crew consisted of at least 64 Marines, and not one of the soldiers survived this fight or the crash without a fatal injury. Keep in mind, a similar crash took place with the Kellyan with Marines that were less armored than us. The game designers explained the Valor's quick downfall after opening the Ishimura's escape pod during an Ask Me Anything on Reddit, saying, "It wasn't just Chen. The infection spread rapidly once he was on board, and then the crash killed everyone else," which doesn't make much sense when we look at the fact that the infection takes hours to spread in a significant way. Also, I can't stress this enough, there are 64 Marines on this ship, all with training Tier 6 armor and stasis packs, and no one survived the invasion of one regular necromorph. No one fought to use stasis at some point, or hold in a defensible position, or even brace for impact. The only way I could accept that is if they removed the stasis packs and heavy armor and gave each of these guys the same armor as Hammond. But even then, 1 or 2 survivors would have made it after the crash.
Okay, that was a massive lore drop, but honestly, you have a point, Obama. That many damn guns with that many damn soldiers would have taken the entire zombie army to take out, especially with how powerful stasis and Tier 6 armor is. They can't even have them remove the stasis packs because of the new necromorph type we have to fight, so they really did either need to lower the armor these guys had and lower the amount of Marines on the ship, or just have some of the Marines survive the crash and maybe become a hindrance to Isaac as they go crazy from the marker or something. I guess that would have been too much for the original game, but the remake definitely had the ability to put soldier enemies in this game. So how the hell did Hammond board the ship ahead of us?
You know I'm not a nuclear engineer, right?
I don't need you to be. Just stabilize the warhead and eject it away from the Ishimura.
Don't underestimate the speed buff after a good nap, Donald. I would have liked that, since then we could have had not only a truly different enemy type, which is one of the highlights of the later games, but we could have had definitive proof that the pulse rifle can't do shit as a normal weapon. Plus, having to dodge stasis attacks on the other foot would have been intense. Also, we are already at the next chapter. I guess this will be another episode we take on 2 chapters at once.
Well, here is our last new enemy in this game, the Twitcher. I was going to go into what this guy's deal is. But looks like Joe already discovered what their weakness is, and showing is better than telling.
Never count out the abilities of space engineer Isaac Clarke, especially when he is controlled by Joe Biden wielding a line gun. Honestly, this whole level is perfect for the line gun and force gun. It's all close quarters. The massive projectiles on both the guns are perfect to trigger the stasis modules on these guys.
Every gun besides the plasma cutter is the perfect gun to fight these enemies, as every projectile is large enough to trigger stasis. This level's test seems to be a check mark if you have a second gun upgraded yet, and is one of the worst to fight when trying to get the one gun achievement.
So how the hell do the stasis modules make the space zombies faster when they fuse together, when the entire point of the stasis module is to slow things down? If they are fused, then why the hell does it reverse it? That's not how fusions work.
Well, stasis modules deal with time dilation at its core, not just slowing down time. It isn't the most unreasonable thing to imagine that the dead tissue fusing with the module could create the opposite effect, maybe through the marker's signal. Speaking of the marker, though, I have another comment question prepped for us now that we have met every type of necromorph in this game. And so viewers, what is your favorite type of necromorph in this game, either because of the lore behind it, the design, the creepiness, or just from your own memory? As for mine, I have to give it to the Divider, not only because of its creepy appearance, or the fact it has 2 unique kill animations, but also for the fact that the Divider is actually a reference to John Carpenter's The Thing. Every piece of the thing is an individual organism that, when separated from the main body, continues on its own. And that movie is just one of the top 10 essentials in horror movies, no debate.
All right, Obama is just straight up cheating with the movie references that is almost impossible to beat. Mine has to go to the brutes, not only because I respect the tanks or big backs on any squad, but I also just love their position in the game as mini bosses. They not only have the best presentation in this game, breaking through the glass to get a peek at the size of this thing before then shattering an entire damn blast door and squaring up with Isaac. And the presentation of these things stays consistent throughout the entire game. I also just like the idea of an enemy that doesn't just have a weak point, but that his non-weak points are practically invulnerable, making him an actual threat. I also think the design with both the spiky exoskeleton and the fact it's a fusion of several bodies is just peak.
Damn, you guys picked some good ones. Let's see if I can go 3 for 3. While I am partial to the classic slasher necromorph, I think my favorite is the Exploder. Not only because his design is fucked up and horrible looking, but because of its unique role in combat. Instead of being a unit that is trying to win the fight, it's instead trying to take out Isaac with him. Also, the tactical switch up when these guys join the fray is great. Not only do we have to watch our fire face collateral damage, but we also can use strategy to damage other necromorphs, either exploding the sack at the right moment or launching the sack at a space zombie to damage them. Plus, they scared the hell out of us during their first appearance in the series. Even Obama was scared.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me, but viewers, make sure you let us know what your favorite necromorph enemy is in this game and why. Back to the game, we should address the guy who just called us.
It's not only crazy that a survivor without a gun has survived this long, but that it is Chapter 9, and we are just now being introduced to a new character.
Joe, careful here.
We are in the last stretch.
Also, bro went on some kind of fitness journey. He dyed his hair and lost a lot of weight. Oh, fuck!
Jesus Christ, viewers, this is a person you trusted with nuclear devices for 4 years. At least you finally got another death in this series.
Fuck off, it was a misclick.
Normally I love the force gun, Joe, but you have to time your shots carefully here, so only the plasma cutter needs to be used here. Going back to Kine, though he has been referenced a few times since Chapter 2, Kine is also the person who has been listening in our communications for the last chapter or so, a fact that is very apparent when you listen to Daniel's warnings the last 2 chapters. Why he is coming out now is unclear, but it's likely the marker's vision urging him that he needs to contact Isaac before he leaves the Ishimura. With that being said, Donald Mind featuring our favorite comment and super thanks from last episode.
Sure thing, Obama. Our featured comment comes from Unknown Denizen, who sided with my take of their favorite tool in Isaac's kit being the suit itself. Thank you for admitting I cooked and for going into a whole side story about how you would wield it like Batman. Superhero Isaac Clarke is kind of weird to think about, but it's still chill. Thank you for your comment, and can't wait to hear your favorite necromorph in Dead Space. We also have another super thanks from the biggest supporter of this series in the Maiden Less Route Sith Morak with another $10 donation. Thank you so much for your heavy support of the series and the massive lore drop too, about the CEC cutting corners at every opportunity like a good business should. Also, we can all agree that Supervisor Dallas is the GOAT.
Boom, boys. I successfully released the payload with no friendly fire this time. I handled it softly like a kitten.
Yeah, all it took was you sweating all over my keyboard and mouse to do it sleepy. Anyways, should we talk about the fact that these guys brought a whole nuke on board? I already know this is one of those slight changes from the original, and I imagine this is your other complaint about this chapter.
Oh, right, thank you, Donald. So, in addition to being a crew of 64 soldiers armed to the teeth with guns, training, and stasis modules, the soldiers were also under specific orders to secure the marker, and either exterminate the crew of the Ishimura or contain them, since Earth government is aware of the damage a marker can do. I mean, hell, in the remake, they even have a nuke on board, showing exactly how they were going to treat the ship when they got here. So knowing they were prepared to fight possible space zombies, we have an even bigger question mark as to how they got clapped up by one slasher, even with a potential outbreak. Hell, why did they even open the escape pod without examining it first? They knew it could be infected, and they still got clapped up that hard.
It looks really bad, and is likely a plot hole that can't be explained away by just the infection being bad, but it is one of the costs of playing a horror game, where everyone is a cliché horror movie villain with lowered battle IQ.
It's still a sad day for Space Marines and pulse rifle users everywhere, and we need to rise up in the gameplay and comments in defense of our favorite gun. My Space Force would never be this incompetent. We punch first and ask questions while punching. We only stop if the alien species is hot for that new frontier factor. These necromorphs pretending to be Marines can all go to hell where they belong.
Goddamn, they are even playing dead when you shoot them. They have rogue feats from World of Warcraft. It's Joe Ever.
Playing dead isn't supposed to work, Joe. You are a thinking man, not a pre-programmed AI. You can choose not to drop your attack on someone when they aren't dead.
You are severely overestimating Joe. He is closer to the necromorphs than the marker. By this point, he probably thinks like them too. Ooh, shit, pre-placed pulse rifle ammo, my favorite. Now this is the shit I like.
Donald, if we were playing Dead Money, the way the ghost people would lay a trap for you is just place Morrigan pictures and pulse rifle ammo. Anyways, this is good money for later, but I guess I have to do this shooting range challenge for the achievement and the loot.
This is a classic return from the original game, and the rewards are way better too. Let's see your moves here, Joe.
Joe, you were supposed to start shooting when those guys appeared. What the hell are you waiting for an invitation?
I wasn't ready yet, plus I only want to go for headshots. Also, wait, are the red ones the guys I am supposed to kill or the ones to avoid, because red means bad?
Jesus Christ, Joe. There are only 2 rules to the range, and you are fucking it up so hard that you triggered the goddamn alarm. It's time to throw in the towel and hang up your spacesuit.
This is devious work throwing this many guys at me after I used like 2 whole clips on the shooting range.
This is one of my favorite moments in the remake because it plays on your trust of the original. And in the original, the shooting range is a normal range that you have to beat 6 rounds of to get a free power node and an achievement. Power nodes in the original were far less interesting, so after you got the achievement, it was never worth the hassle to do the range again, especially since the shooting range was fairly boring with just 3 rows out in the open. Now they built the shooting range like a paintball ring, with cover making it more enticing for players to try it, only for it to be a necromorph ambush in the end to bring back that horror factor.
Analysis game on point, Obama, but the fact this ended in another zombie ambush is kind of hit or miss. I would have preferred an actual mini-game instead.
You're just saying that. Because the zombies are clapping you up sleepy, whether it's a fun mini-game or a horde attack, as long as we get a good reward, and zombies die, that's what matters. I mean, 10,000 and a shit ton of ammo make the pain go down easier.
I dodged the melee attacks, but the explosions are becoming the problem that I can't run from. At least the last baby that was hiding in the corner dropped a health back to treat my boo-boos. And speaking of boo-boos, looks like this guy could use a leg up.
To add to the boo-boos fun fact, surgeries in the 26th century involve a lot of automatic lasers.
Lasers that would carve through armor, but this goddamn speedster zombie can dash through no goddamn problem. I'm beginning to think we need to switch to the infected suit and gain some speed force powers of our own.
Oh shit, that reminds me we haven't changed our armor out this episode. I need to find a store. And switch out, we still have the Venture and classic suit to showcase in this series for our viewers. Also, hi Nicole, don't worry, I will pick up the whole wheat bread after I get the single core, don't worry. Jesus, women always have to nag us on everything, am I right, boys?
Yeah, sure thing, Joe, it sucks that the marker is on the nose and nags us like a housewife. Unfortunately, though, there are no stores on this ship and therefore this entire chapter, so we don't have the option to change our armor now. As a gameplay mechanic, this is pretty annoying and makes it absolutely essential that you max out your suit before boarding, as otherwise you won't be able to carry all of the loot available on the ship. Also, unlike every other part of the ship, we can't return here later, so it's important to do the shooting range. And grab the 4 nodes on the ship as well as the large med pack schematics if for no other reason than the achievement for collecting all of the schematics.
Oh right, we are still in our achievement hunting arc, I forgot. Yeah, viewers, grab the large med pack schematics just for the achievement, since that shit costs the same as a damn power node, and you almost never need to have a health pack that large on standby. The medium ones will treat you just fine.
Donald actually promoting not to spend in excess is crazy work. And probably the best form of character growth that we will even get from our series. But while we are clearing through this massive pile of suitcases, should we talk about the fact that Hammond has gone crazy in the span of like 10 minutes of game time? I mean, bro was fully aware when we released the nuke, but now he is seeing Chen and thinks he is still alive.
All right, maybe the developers have a point, whatever. Signal enhancers are impacting this ship are real, because this guy is speed-running dementia more than Sleepy Joe at this rate.
Well up ahead, we have the escape pod, where the god-level Chen Slasher began his rampage, getting the single highest kill streak known to man. Also, I am more or less willing to drop it by this point, since fighting against plot holes is an uphill battle. But I don't think we can say for sure that Hammond just started being affected by the marker now. For sure, the Chen necromorph was a difficult reminder, but he has been in the crew deck for the last 4 chapters receiving direct exposure to the marker. Remember, Isaac isn't exactly the most sane by this point. Either he just has a higher functioning level of insanity. Speaking of insanity, looks like you have another big ambush here. Joe, let's see your moves here.
Kind of convenient, just when my inventory got full, here's another wave of zombies to clear out some space for me. Also, I like how the AI announcer voice for the Valor is different from the AI voice on the Ishimura. They could have easily kept the same voice like Siri or something. But they changed that along with the symbols on all of the containers too.
You know, that's one thing I have noticed about Dead Space that is different from a lot of other sci-fi series. There isn't really robots or advanced AI in this game series at most. We just have robot voices that make announcements, which is more what a VI can do. It seems like Dead Space is pretty low on the totem pole when it comes to artificial intelligence.
Well, that's probably because they put most of their technology into time and gravity dilation and space travel. Dead Space is pretty moderate on the power scaling level of their weapons, and technology are above our current level. For example, they are able to frack and crack entire planets, but for 500 years in the future, you would really expect something more.
Well, the Space Gorilla turned out to be the perfect enemy to test out our stasis upgrade on Bro, was completely lost in the frozen space sauce.
Really sad how clapped up these great beasts have been done in this series. If they were immune to stasis, they would actually be a Dark Souls level threat. But as is, they just get their ankles more shattered than a low-ranked Dead by Daylight killer. It's unfortunate because these guys have some interesting strategies to them, like if you chip away at their armor, they go into a defense curl mode where you can finish them off, but instead Joe just stops time like Dio.
Well, the brute drops our third power node of the chapter, only one more to go up ahead in the engines. Also, this crash out from Hammond is the most on-point statement.
We were all dead from the moment we arrived.
He sounds paranoid as shit, but he is actually right. Somebody did set this all up, and we were sent on this mission more so to cover the company's bases rather than this being a genuine repair mission. And basically every major player had their own self-serving needs for the Ishimura being here and sending the Isaac crew here. Also, we made it to the engine room. Boys, insert a second joke about Minecraft movie Flint and Steel here.
Okay, very well thought out. Joe, thank you for taking everyone's time to say that. Anyway, this engine room is tied with the stasis fans for being impossible mode run killers. Once you learn how to fight every enemy, you find out the environment of this god-forsaken ship is the real main villain. It's really easy to slip up and chunk out like half of your health on these things if you aren't careful.
Sounds like a total skill issue on your part, Obama, but also sounds like the perfect way to get you to crash out. A lot of our viewers wanted you to get clapped up more from the secret bosses in our Dragon Age 2 run, so maybe seeing you die to fire engines would be just the type of entertainment we need to get those likes up.
Yeah, thanks for looking out for our engagement numbers. Donald may be an impossible challenge run where I play could be a special episode we do down the line, so viewers like the video and hit the sub button if you want to see us doing that.
There you go, Barry. Now we sound like proper YouTubers. Anyway, what the hell is this box made out of that it's able to just full-on resist engine fire? Like, does that work in real life?
Yeah, probably titanium or tungsten. That's usually what's used for space faring.
Well, it's probably just made of steel beams, Joe. You know, since jet fuel can't.
Hey, fuck you, Donald, you can't say that shit. We are supposed to avoid political content. I'm about to take off my belt and roll with advantage if you finish that sentence.
Jesus, well, that's not a forced segue or anything, but George, what the hell are you doing here?
I don't know, I guess I have been hanging out with Maury a bit too long now. I have built up a sense for when that topic comes up and had to rush on over to put a stop to it. Anyways, boys, how goes the Dead Space run so far? Have you exterminated all signs of the tentacle menace?
Not yet, George. That comes in Chapter 10. Right now, we are only in Chapter 9. We are trying to get a ship course so we can leave. And we are about to see the infamous middle manager Hammond scene.
Oh, drama, my favorite.
Oh boy, another fused box choice. I can either turn the fire on and proceed normally with the box puzzle. That all being said, fuck it, we ball.
Looks like it was just a few jumpy boys that don't know fire is hot, so no harm, no foul, Joe.
Yeah, it's only a difficult puzzle because you would have to guide both the boxes back to the other side to grab the final power node. But anyways, boys, up ahead we have our last scene with Hammond. We already gave our thoughts on it, so let's give him a little bit of honor.
Another malfunction. Half the Ishimura's in the red. Someone get the door open.
It's a nice touch he just babbles off some of the early lines from the first cutscene in Chapter 1.
God damn it, Marine, you have a shot, take it already, and prove the pulse rifle useful.
Chen is clearly family to him, Donald. It's never that simple.
They are not goddamn related, George, they are just co-workers.
It's a comrade in arms situation, Smooth Brain, you wouldn't understand.
Jesus Christ, what a brutal death. There is nothing left of him. Gunner writes rent was absolutely due on that delivery, too.
Yeah, but that means there's nothing left for the marker to convert, and like Supervisor Dallas, we have to respect that. Well, press F to pay respects to Hammond boys. May he manage the pearly gates upstairs.
F.
You're goddamn late with the spoon feeding as usual, Daniels. Like Chen has been gone a goddamn while, but we did lose the only other dude who can carry a gun in this squad.
Hey boys, I know those boxes were made of steel beams, but I don't think the rest of the ship is. We probably need to get the hell out of here before we really learn fire is hot.
Yeah, thanks for the astute observation, Daniels. Now it's time to really pull out the Joestar family technique and get the hell out of here now that we have captured the flag. I am not trying to die to a second explosion this episode.
Well, you might escape if you don't end up getting lost and taking a wrong turn towards the ice cream parlor.
So while the ship is exploding more than a Michael Bay film, we can actually take our time. And loot around, there isn't any timer, besides extra zombies to kill, and the mess hall did have some minor loot to grab since it is a new area.
Yeah, I am just not going to do that, even if the game doesn't punish you for staying on the ship. Narratively, this is supposed to be a really dangerous and high-intensity moment, so I am running. Besides, these zombies are annoying enough stopping me from opening doors. Imagine how much time and ammo I would waste looting around the entire room.
That zombie really survived an entire clip, mad respect for his endurance build. Yes, stopping to loot while the area is collapsing around you isn't exactly a high IQ moment, Obama. I remember that's how your first character died in D&D, when you spent too long in the treasure room while the temple was collapsing.
That was a really unsatisfying character death, and you're a dick for doing that, George. I only went back because the holy water and boots of flight were really useful for the upcoming boss fight.
Yeah, nah, Obama, that was entirely a skill issue on your part and also hilarious. On second thought, Joe, please go back to the mess hall and loot around a little just for the nostalgia.
Your fat ass would want to go back towards the mess hall, Donald. So when you play Dead Space 2, you can enjoy the Necromorph Diddy Party in the cafeteria all you like. Anyways, boom, boys, I made it just in time.
Isaac really gets tossed around more than a linebacker, but still took 0 damage. That is the definition of built different. Also looks like we ended up doing one big loop. You guys are back in the communications array from the start of the episode.
Yeah, talk about convenient, but wait a minute, George. How the hell do you know about what we did for the parts you weren't there for?
DM secrets, Donald, don't worry about it.
Well, more importantly, I did it, boys. I cleared 2 chapters today, and now we are on the final stretch in Dead Space.
Yeah, and all it cost was dozens of Space Marines and your sanity, a perfect trade deal.
Yeah, it took a while, but we are finally on the home stretch of this game with just 3 chapters left to go.
You need to... Wait, someone's opened the door near the bridge atrium? It'll get you to the crew deck, but...
We still have plenty of content to get through, though we finally have access to the crew deck, the last hub area to explore a side quest to finish. And finally, we can get the last officer rig in the door that Daniels mentions is open now.
Then once all this tedious work is done, we unlock the well-anticipated hidden sex scene in Dead Space.
Viewers, he is lying. That doesn't happen. Also, that chapter title sounds ominous as hell. It sounds like you boys have one more heavy backtrack before the end, and this jumpy guy has some choice words to say about that.
Well, we cut ahead since it took like 3 elevator rides and a massive selling spree at the store, but we are back to the true start of the episode, the bridge.
Yeah, we didn't really buy anything except some extra ammo, so we have just enough to get the Mark V suit at the start next time. Anyway, where am I going now, Barry? I need to know quick before a necromorph vents from the bridge.
On how sus?
All right, so down the stairs we can enter the tram tunnel that we have seen since like Chapter 4. And on the right end of the tunnel we can find the last officer's rig. To remind all of you, there are 7 rigs to unlock the Master Override achievement, and unlock several master doors that have upgrade schematics for every gun besides the plasma cutter and extra loot. The rigs' locations are in order of when we grabbed them. 1 at the end of Chapter 2 when we were flying to engineering. 1 in Chapter 4 when we calibrated the cannons. 1 in Chapter 6, clearing some blight after killing the brute. 1 we get from Dallas as part of the main quest. Another in engineering, where we get the flamethrower. 1 in the comms array. And the last one here right on the path at the start of Chapter 10.
So now that we have all the 7 pieces, do we fuse the rigs together like the Triforce, or is it like the Pokemon badge check gate? And the doors will automatically open now that it senses all of them.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me of those Nintendo references after breaking my Switch 2 Joy-Con. By the way, Joe, if I had force powers like Isaac, I would yeet you out of this room.
Relax, George. You only have one game to play on that thing anyway, and Obama already ordered replacement Joy-Cons on Amazon for you.
Oh, when you get those, let me know. I want to test how good shiny hunting is now on the Switch 2.
Yeah, no, Joe, you are banned from touching my console. Get your own. I don't even care if it's your birthday.
Oh, come on, man. I was really hoping to find a shiny sneeze. Oh, fuck, it's a trap.
Yeah, okay, thanks for getting us back on track, Joe, to answer your question, though, before these rigs can be used to open the master door. We have to go to the captain's nest of the bridge, where Hammond first upgraded our rig access. We then plug every officer's rig into a console, and then we get master access.
Yeah, and then we get to backtrack to every goddamn part of the ship for an hour to get the rest of the upgrades and schematics we have access to now. Speaking of upgrades, it's been a while since we have done one on screen, so take us away, Joseph.
Thanks, Donald. So we unlocked the final upgrade path for the plasma cutter, so we are going to fully max that out and get the best upgrade in game 2. After that, I am going to upgrade the laser trap damage. I really want to get some utility out of the line guns after the fight earlier.
So with all of these upgrades and backtracking, does the master rig get us access to some cool space necromancer secret boss or something? After your streak, I was really hoping to see how Joe handles one.
No, George, no secret boss. We just get some good loot and cool upgrades.
Ah, damn, that's pretty lame.
Agreed, George. I was really looking forward to seeing Joe struggle for even a second. Also, damn, the best thing the marker has done is block Daniels from backseating us for once we are finally left to our own devices.
Praise be Altman, this is a wondrous gift on the path of truth.
Heavy pause.
Okay, great, Joe. Good to see you are fully immersed in the role play of the final acts. But we are going to save that for next episode. Now that we unlocked the tram to the crew deck, we can go ahead back to the bridge real quick and create the master rig code before we close the episode out. We can start next episode by doing one final backtrack to unlock the final schematics.
So are we just not going to acknowledge what the hell he just said?
We never acknowledge it, George. It's for the best. It's kind of fitting we end the episode off in the place where the escape pod was launched that caused us so much trouble this episode.
My thoughts exactly, Donald. Unfortunately, since we didn't come here before, now we are going to get bombarded with enough rig updates like we are playing the opening of New Vegas.
Boom, easy money. Well, viewers, while the endless pop-ups appear, we are going to wrap this episode up. Next time, we are going to show you where all the master locks are before finally retrieving the marker and ending this once and for all. Don't forget to leave your comment question on your favorite necromorph enemy in this game, as well as a like to honor Hammond's death, and a subscription to keep up to date on the latest video. We are going to be on a weekly upload schedule, so you won't want to miss out. We will see you all next week, where Obama's going back to Kirkwall in Dragon Age 2 to start Act 3 proper. But for now, stay safe, Biden out.